Hey guys, so here I am with part 2 of your budget worksheet stuff. So if you printed them out, then you'll see I wrote on there the names of the people. So for each different scenario that we're going through, there's a specific sheet for you to use. If you use the wrong one, it's fine, just cross it out and write the names of the one that you are doing. But that'll make it easier for you to keep track of which one's which, and for me when I'm looking at them and grading them to know that you got it right, because otherwise I have to try and figure out which scenario you're doing and all that. So again, name, just like on the other one, please write your name so that I know whose stuff I am grading. So see, I even wrote my name. And if you are tuning in and watching my video, yay, good for you. We're going to do this together. So I probably won't do all of them, but you'll get some of the answers. So anyway, our first one is Veronica and Jasmine. They are twin sisters who recently bought a townhouse together because they knew that they couldn't afford to buy one on their own. So think about earlier when we were talking about rent and thinking about having a roommate. So in this case, they're twin sisters. They already know the person they're going to be living with, and they said, well, we really want to buy a home, but we can't afford one on our own, so we're going to share one. Okay. They live in a small community where cost of living is less, but so are incomes. Veronica works as a hairstylist and makes about $800 a week, and Jasmine is a store manager and brings home just a bit more, $900 a week. Their mortgage payment is $950 a month, and utilities, phone, cable, and internet cost an additional $600. Their grocery bill is approximately $600 a month because both girls enjoy entertaining and having friends over. Veronica is paying off her student loan from hairstylist school, and that costs an additional $156 per month. Their car payments are $800 per month, and their gas is only $150 as everything is located so close together. They are hoping to go to Cuba with some friends for a week in November. The cost of the trip is $685 each. November is 4 months away. Will they be able to save enough in time? So, I'm going to highlight pertinent information so it's easy for us to find. So, every one of those money things. Jasmine said Veronica makes $800 a week. Jasmine, $900 a week. So, see, I highlighted those. You don't have to do that, but it makes it a little bit easier. Like when the next one we're going to highlight as we go. So we have mortgage is $950. Utilities $600. Grocery $600. Student loan $156. Car $800. And it's also important to make sure that you're looking at whether it is a monthly fee or weekly. So their income was weekly, but these bills are monthly, so important to keep that in mind. So gas is $150. And then we're going to try and find out about the trip, which is $685 each. So here's the information that I highlighted. Veronica and her income, Jasmine, her income, their mortgage for their townhome, their utility cost, their grocery bill, and then I included that's per month, the student loan, down here, their car payments, per month, their gas cost, and then how much the trip is. So we're going to go from there. So I'm going to set that aside and work on the budget sheet. Where did it go? It's on my clipboard. So, salary number 1, I'm going to write Veronica next to it. And salary number 2 is going to be Jasmine. So, Veronica's income was $800 per week. And then Jasmine's income was $900 per week. But we're looking at expenses for a whole month. So when we looked at the ones on the reverse budget, it had us multiply by 4.3 weeks because months are not an exact divisible by 7. But we're going to go just based on like about 4 weeks in the month, okay? So we're going to take each of those incomes and multiply it by 4, okay? So it's their weekly income. Veronica's 800, Jasmine 900, and we're going to multiply each of those by 4. So I'm going to grab my phone and use my calculator because it's really not hard to do this math, but I want to make sure that I'm accurate and it's easy to just do it on my phone. So Veronica is making $3,200 per month. And Jasmine is making $3,600 per month. Okay, so now their total income, we're going to add up those 2 lines. We're going to add the monthly because all of these expenses, remember, were per month. So our total income needs to be a monthly income in order for us to make sure that we're talking in the same amount of time, right? Because their weekly income would not be enough to cover all of their monthly bills. So we're going to add the $3,200 from Veronica and the $3,600 from Jasmine, and we get $6,800 per month. So you can see $6,800 per month is their total income. And again, I wrote down that it's per week and per month so that we don't forget, because otherwise we're going to think they don't have enough money. So then we're going to fill in all the things for their expenses. So look back at the story, and it says rent, and it's actually mortgage in their case, so I'm going to make a note of that. Their mortgage is $950 per month. Transportation, that's going to be their car. So their car was, see, it's not in the same order. We got to figure it out. Car was $800 per month plus the food. I mean, not food, but the gas, $800 plus $150. Okay, and then we have, let's skip costs. For now, we'll go to food. So food was $600 a month. And then entertainment. They don't have anything specific for entertainment, so I don't know. What have we not covered yet? Well, there's the trip, but we're gonna get back to that because it's a special cost. Let's see, costs. So cost is gonna be our utilities. So I wrote utilities next to costs, and I'm gonna fill that in with our utility payment of $600. And so we've done Veronica's income, Jasmine's income. We've done the mortgage, the utilities. We did our grocery bill. We have not done the student loan yet, but we have done the car and the gas. So the student loan is going to go under miscellaneous. So I wrote down student loan, and I'm going to write down the amount, which is $156 per month. So it should look like this. So if you need to write that down, use your pause button. Great thing about video. So now we're going to add up all of that. We're going to add up all of their expenses. So we have $950 for rent plus, or mortgage, sorry. $800 for their cars plus $150 for gas plus $600 for their utility costs plus $600 for their food and $156 for that student loan. So their total expenses, if you added the same as me, I got $3,256 per month. So then they want us to have the total income minus the total expenses, so that we know how much money they have. So since I have this number still on here, I'm just going to turn it into a negative and add their income of $6,800. And it says that we have $3,544 per month left over. So that's money that they could use for entertainment, for medical bills, for savings, any of those kinds of things that are not already listed on here, right? That's kind of like their reserves. It's not in their budget already. It's the other money. So, the question they're asking us is, will they be able to save enough in time if they want to go to Cuba in how long? 4 months, and they have it costs $685 per person. So, $685 per person. So we're going to multiply that by 2. Right? Because there's 2 of them. They want to go on the trip together with their friends. So we're going to add that or multiply, whichever is more comfortable for you. 685 plus itself or times 2. And we have $1,370. So here's the thing. We could do a whole bunch more math. Okay? We could calculate out how much extra they have over the next 4 months. We don't need to do that though, right? Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because this number right here for their trip is already smaller than this. See that? So their money left over in just 1 month is already more. In fact, it's over double, right? Yeah. Over double what they need for their trip. So it's not going to be any problem for them to go on that trip. Make sense? Cool. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one. So you should be on your Darnell and Chauvin one. So as I read, I'm going to highlight. You can underline, highlight, follow along. Darnell and Chauvin have been married for 4 years. Chauvin is a dental hygienist and makes $40 per hour and works 30 hours per week. So I highlighted $40 per hour and 30 hours per week because we're going to have to multiply that to get her income, right? Darnell is a hotel manager and brings home $1,250 per week. They own a semi-detached home in a middle-class neighborhood where their mortgage is $1,200 per month. So I'm highlighting mortgage, $1,200 per month. Utilities, phone, cable, and internet cost $650. So I'm highlighting utilities and $650. Car payments are $875. So highlight car and $875. And gas is another $350. So gas, $350. We're going to have to add those together just like we did on the previous one. They have twin 3-year-old boys named Grayson and Greg who go to daycare every morning. Their paternal grandmother takes care of them in the afternoons. Daycare costs Siobhan and Darnell $1,500 a month. So we're highlighting daycare, $1,500 a month. Their grocery bills are particularly high because they just found out that Grayson has significant allergies, including dairy and gluten. So they have to buy specialty foods for him. Their minimum monthly grocery bill is $600. So I said grocery, $600. And that's exactly what I was talking to you about back on the reverse budget worksheet, about different kinds of foods cost different things. And so if you have a specialty diet, it's going to cost more, right? Okay. Siobhan and Darnell have date night once a month where they go to dinner and a movie. This costs $115. So I'm highlighting date night, $115. They also pay Darnell's niece, who is saving for college, $40 to watch the twins for 4 hours. So that's their babysitter. Okay. Darnell and Siobhan want to take the boys to Disney World for their 4th birthday, which is 8 months away. They plan on driving to save money, but they still need $4,500 for the total cost of the trip. So we're going to say Disney World, $4,500. Can they afford it? So we're going to go through the whole thing again and figure out if these people can afford their trip. So I'm going to set aside my highlighted sheet and we're going to start working on filling out the paper. First, I'm writing my name at the top. It's really important, you guys. Like, I can figure yours out right now, but next year, right, high school, your teachers have a ton more students than what I have. And if you don't write your name and period, your paper just is going to go in the trash because it takes way too long and they pretty much aren't going to be able to figure out who you are. Okay, so our first salary is Siobhan. I'm going to write an S for her on salary number 1 and a D for Darnell on number 2. So Siobhan is $40 per hour times 30 hours a week. Getting at that calculator. I mean, you should be able to do that as mental math, but you know, calculator's okay. So 40 times the 30 gives us $1,200 a week. And then we're going to multiply that again by the 4 weeks. Right? So she makes $4,800 a month. And then we have Darnell's income, which is $1,250 per week. So we're just going to take that, the $1,250 times 4 weeks. And so he makes $5,000 a month. Okay. Then we're going to add those together, the $5,000 for Darnell and the $4,800 for Siobhan. And we get a total of $9,800 per month. or $9,800. Okay. So now we have to look at their expenses. We have not a rent, it's a mortgage. So they are purchasing their home. They bought it instead of renting. And that is $1,200 per month. We have the next thing. We'll just go in order that it is in the story to make sure that we get all of the expenses on here, because we can move around on this chart. There you go. A little bit more easily than we can move through the story and make sure that we get everything. So our next one that's in the story is their utility cost. So that's costs again. And that was $650 a month. Then we have car. So back up to the transportation. And that is $875 per month, plus their gas, which is $350 per month. They're driving a lot. I don't know. I mean, well, I guess they have more than one vehicle too, but like I have a big car that costs almost $100 to fill the tank, and I don't spend that much on gas in a month. Yeah. They drive a lot. All right. Then we have daycare. So that's going to be under miscellaneous. So I'm going to write daycare. And that's $1,500 a month. Not terrible for daycare for 2 kids. And then their grocery bill is $600. So back up to food. We have $600 for food. And then they have their date night. So that's entertainment. And that's going to have 2 items on it. It has $115 for the date, plus $40 for the sitter. Okay? So that covers all of their costs other than the trip. And the trip is, we have Disney World for $4,500. And that is the total trip cost. It is not per person. So here is what we should have right now. Go ahead and pause if you need to write that down. Okay, so now we need to add up all of their costs. So we have $1,200 for their mortgage, plus $875 for their cars, plus $350 for their gas, plus $650 for the utilities. These are all per month, so we can just straight line add them. Then we have $600 for their minimum food, plus $115 for their date, and $40 for the sitter. And then we need to add on their daycare cost of $1,500. So in total, I got $5,330 for their bills. And we're going to turn that into a negative and add their income, which is $9,800. And so what they are left with is $4,470. So we are looking at the boys' 4th birthday, which is 8 months away. So they have 8 months to save. And we're going to look at the cost. Here's the cost of the trip, $4,500. And this is what they're left with at the end of 1 month, which is $4,470. So this is less than that, but it's close. It's only $30 away. So if they have 8 months over which to save this money, can they go on the trip? Yeah, they're going to Disney World. As long as there is no social distancing going on, they're going to Disney World. Sounds like fun. Unfortunately, we're not going to Disneyland because of the coronavirus. It makes me very sad. I really want to go to Disney with you guys. It's a bummer. I love Disneyland, and I was really excited to get to share that with you. All right. So, hopefully this has answered some of your questions about how these go. I'm going to skip ahead really quick to do one more with you together, and then hopefully you can do the rest on your own. Maybe. So, we're going to do number 4 together. So find number 4. And the reason I want to do number 4 is just because I don't want people to get confused because George is a single dad. So I don't want people to be looking at it and going, oh no, what do I do? It's going to be really easy, actually. You're just going to put in his income on salary number 1. And there's no salary number 2, right? Because he's single. All right, so let me find his. And I'm going to highlight as we go again. I don't think I showed it to you last time at the end. Sorry. I will do that. But it did tell you as I was doing it. Okay. So, put my name. Our salary number 1 is, well, it doesn't matter really because there's only one of them. So, George is a single father of 3 girls. He works as an electrician and makes $2,100 a week. That's no joke, really. Skilled labor can make some good money. So if you are not super into book stuff and you're looking for a career where you're going to have money so that you can do fun things, especially if you like building stuff, doing things with your hands, fantastic careers in technical fields like that. Electricians, plumbers, they make really good money. So tip. Yeah. Okay. So he makes $2,100 a week. He rents a 3-bedroom apartment for $1,250 a month, including utilities. Yes. Look at him. Got the utilities in there too. He spends $250 a month on phone, cable, and internet. $250 phone, cable, and internet. $550 on groceries, and gives his daughters $50 each a month for toiletries. Daughters $50 each for toiletries. So when we have to remember that he has 3 girls. So that's $150 when we put it in on our budget, right? His oldest, Hannah, will be starting university in September, and George is hoping to buy her a car so that she can get to and from school. He is budgeting to put $5,000 down on the car and make monthly payments of $450. His own car is paid off, and he spends about $350 a month in gas. His youngest daughter, Elena, plays the piano, and that costs him $200 a month. And his middle daughter, Elizabeth, plays hockey, and that costs $350 a month. It is January. Will George be able to save enough money to buy his daughter a car by August? So we want to know, is he going to have enough for the down payment and, have enough in his monthly budget to pay those monthly fees? So this is a much more complicated one, and we're also dealing with only one income. So George's salary is, here, I'll show you. There's my highlighting. A lot of information. There you go. Okay. George's salary was $2,100 per week. So remember, we're going to multiply that by 4, right? $2,100 times 4. That means he is making $8,400 a month. Yeah. Okay, so his total income is $8,400 a month. We know that because there's no other income, because he's a single dad. So then we have his expenses. His apartment rent is $1,250, including utilities, right? And then we're going to put under costs, we're going to put the phone, cable, internet. Which is $250 a month. His kids must not have phones. Okay. And then he has $550 in groceries. Gotta feed all those girls. And then under miscellaneous, we have $50 each to the girls for toiletries. So that's $150. I don't know how I want to label that. We could write toiletries. Really, it's an allowance. So I'll write that. Okay, so $150 for that, because it was $50 per daughter and he has 3 daughters. Okay, so the next thing that's in our story is the car. So he wants to have $5,000 down plus $450 a month. Okay, so I made a note of that at the bottom. And his car is paid off. Thank goodness. That's smart. It's tough if you try and buy a second car. And that's why in example 2 that we did together, why their cost was so high for their vehicles probably is because they have 2 vehicles that they're paying on. And if you can avoid that, it's good, right? Frees up some money to do other things, like buy your daughter a car. Okay, he spends $350 a month on gas. So we're going to put that under transportation. $350 for gas. And I'm making sure to label everything that it's per month, because remember, like his original salary was in weeks, and then we had one where it was in hours, her hourly wage, and we had to figure all that out. So then we have his daughter's activities. So we have piano for Elena, and that costs $200 a month. And then we have hockey for Elizabeth, which costs $350 per month. Thank goodness that Hannah is not doing any activities, so he can maybe afford to buy her a car. Okay, so that's all of our costs. And we're in January. We'll keep that in mind in a minute. But first, we're going to add up all his things. I'm going to show you first, so you can make sure that you have it written down right. Okay, if that wasn't long enough, make sure you just pause. Thank goodness we can do stuff like that. Okay, so we have $1,250 for his rent, plus $350 for his gas in his car, plus $250 excuse me, for his phone, internet, and cable, plus $550 for their groceries. And then we have $150 for their allowance for their toiletries. And then piano and hockey I put under miscellaneous. Those could be under entertainment also. Or so could the cable, internet, Then we have $200 for the piano lessons and $350 a month for hockey. So I got a total expenses of $3,100. So he's actually doing really, really well. So I'm turning that negative, and I'm going to add his monthly income of $8,400, which means that he has $5,300 left after he pays his bills and takes care of all that stuff for his daughters. So, we are in January. The story says we're in January. This is what he has at the end of the month. This is how much he wants to have for a down payment. Is he going to be able to have this much for a down payment saved up by August? If this is what he has at the end of the month, each month. Yes, obviously, right? And then because he has this much right now, this amount of payment is going to be no problem for him to make the payments on her vehicle for her. Okay, so we went through 3 of these. There are, 7, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7. So we did about half of them together. Do the rest of them yourself. Hopefully by going through this together and walking through those 3 examples, you have an understanding of how to do these and are not overwhelmed or intimidated by them, because it's not super duper hard. It's just, like our math level is up to 4th grade here with multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So you guys can do this. It's not a hard thing to do, but it is important to understand how to calculate this kind of stuff, because this is something you're going to have to do in your real life. So, anyway, if you have additional questions for me, you can ask them via Remind or email, or post them in the Google Classroom. That's a great spot to do it, because if you post them there, then if somebody else has the same question, they can see the answer to it in our discussion. And like I said earlier, make sure you subscribe, because then you don't have to wait for me to get this posted onto our classroom website. You can be watching it as soon as I get it uploaded. Okay, that should be it for our finance stuff. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And then next week, we're doing the chapter that I messed up I was doing this week. So I already have sections 1 and 2 on video, so you can see those, and I go over exactly how to do your notes. So if you need a reminder on that, my daughter helped me out for the first one, and then on the second one, I just kind of showed it you in the book and give you some reminders. And then on the third one, I haven't done that yet. I was going to do it yesterday, but then I was on the Zoom call with you guys instead and had grading and some other things I was working on for you. And so, did not get it done yesterday, but that's okay, because apparently it's for next week. So now, instead of being crazy behind or something, we're ahead. Woo. So if you get done with your stuff this week and just really need to have social studies story time, boom, it's there for you. All right. So I hope you guys are having a good day, and make sure you go to Quizlet, because there is a Quizlet for the vocabulary for this week. It's finance words. And if you are doing the packet, then you can just write the definitions of the words. But Quizlet's way better. So just show me a picture of that you completed stuff on Quizlet, because it's much more fun. All right. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.